I never wanted to lose you. Not now. Not ever. Not even for a single second did I imagine that loving you could feel this heavy, this consuming, this terrifyingly beautiful, all at the same time. And I know you've probably heard words like these before. Someone probably stood in front of you, looked into your eyes, and told you things that sounded like forever, but then forever ended. And you were left standing there, holding pieces of something that used to feel whole, wondering what you did wrong, wondering if love was even real. I need you to stop right there, because what I'm about to say to you is not that. This is not another story that ends with you crying alone. I promise you, just stay with me. That's what I'm about to say to you, because I still remember the first moment I noticed you. Not the first time I saw you, the first time I actually noticed you. There's a difference, and I think you know that. Seeing someone is easy. Anyone can do that. But noticing someone, really noticing the way they carry something quiet behind their smile, the way their eyes hold stories they haven't told anyone yet, the way they laugh a little too loud when they're trying to hide that they're nervous, that's something else entirely. That's when I knew. That's when something shifted inside me, and I thought to myself, I don't want to just pass by this person. I don't want to be a stranger to her. And yet, life has this cruel way of putting distance between the people who are meant to find each other. Time gets in the way, silence gets in the way, fear gets in the way, and I've been afraid, I won't lie to you. I've been so afraid of saying the wrong thing, of moving too fast, of offering you a love that you'd look at and think this isn't enough. Because you deserve enough. You deserve more than enough. You deserve the kind of love that doesn't make you question yourself at 3 in the morning. The kind that doesn't leave you reading old messages, trying to figure out where things went wrong. And I was terrified, absolutely terrified, that I wouldn't be able to give you that. But then I realized something I need to tell you, because I think you need to hear it today. I want you to let that sit with you for a moment. So many people walk into someone's life, carrying an exit plan they never mention. They love with one foot, already out the door. They hold you close while already imagining the goodbye. I was never that person with you. From the very first moment I felt something. It wasn't casual. It wasn't temporary. It wasn't something I was going to try on and return when it stopped feeling comfortable. When I chose to love you, I chose you the way you choose something you plan to keep forever. I chose you the way you choose a home, the block. And I think that's something you haven't been given before. Someone who chose you with permanence in their heart. Someone who looked at all of you, the soft parts and the sharp parts, the warmth and the walls, the smile that lights up a room, and the silence you retreat into when something hurts, and said yes, all of it. I want all of it. I want the version of you that dances in the kitchen when no one is watching. I want the version of you that gets quiet when something is bothering you and needs time before you can speak. I want the version of you that cries at movies you've already seen 3 times because you still feel everything so deeply. That's not weakness. Do you hear me? That is one of the most beautiful things about you. But here's what I need to tell you, and this is the part I've been building toward, the part that keeps me up at night sometimes. I'm scared that you don't see it. I'm scared that somewhere along the way someone taught you to shrink yourself. Someone made you feel like loving you too much was a burden. Like your emotions were too intense, your needs too demanding, your heart too big for anyone to carry with care. And so you learned to hold back. You learned to give less so you'd lose less. You learned to protect yourself by loving from a distance, never fully letting anyone in, because the last time you opened the door completely, someone walked through it and left it wide open behind them on their way out. And I understand it more than you know. But I need you to know something, and I need you to actually believe it this time. Paul, I am not him. I am not the one who left. I am not the one who made you feel like too much. I am not the one who asked you to be smaller, quieter, easier to manage. I am the one standing here, in the full weight of everything you are, saying, give me more, not less, more. Show me the parts you've been hiding. Tell me the thoughts you've never said out loud, because you were afraid of how they'd land. Let me see the version of you that exists at midnight, when the world is quiet and all the performances are over, and it's just you, real and unguarded and beautifully human. That's the version I want. That's the version I fell in love with before I even fully understood what was happening. Because that's the thing about this kind of love. It doesn't announce itself politely. It doesn't knock on the door and wait to be invited in. It just arrives. It settles into your chest like warmth on a cold morning. And suddenly everything feels a little more significant. The ordinary moments start carrying more weight. A song comes on and you think of her. You see something small and beautiful, the way light falls through a window, the smell of something familiar, a laugh that sounds like music, and your first instinct is to share it with her. Always with her. That's how I knew this was different. That's how I knew I wasn't just passing through. Downchong is kicking to some there, and I need to ask you something, and I want you to be honest with yourself when you answer it. Have you ever been loved slowly? Not the kind of love that rushes in hot and loud and leaves just as quickly. I mean the kind of love that builds the way seasons change, gradually, quietly, until one day you look around and everything is different, and you can't even point to the exact moment it shifted. Have you ever had someone take their time with you, not because they weren't sure, but because they wanted to get it right? Because they didn't want to rush past any part of you? Because every layer they discovered made them want to stay longer, go deeper, understand more. That's what you do to me. You make me want to be patient in a world that's constantly telling us to move faster. Kyung, and I know you've waited. I know patience hasn't always been rewarded for you. I know there have been times when you gave someone time, gave them space, gave them grace, and they took all of it without ever giving you a reason to be glad you waited. I know what it feels like to invest your heart in someone and then watch the return on that investment be nothing but heartbreak. I know how exhausting it is to keep believing in love when love keeps letting you down. I see that. I see the weariness you carry sometimes, even when you're smiling. And I want you to know that I don't take it lightly. The fact that you're still here. The fact that after everything you haven't completely closed yourself off. That you still have the courage to feel. That is one of the bravest things about you. And most people will never even recognize it as courage. The podalik wind. The podalik wind. The podalik wind. Or tlaka is the one you've had the omnash. But I do. I recognize it. I see every single act of bravery you perform, just by continuing to love in a world that has given you so many reasons not to. And I want to be worthy of that. I want to be the reason your faith and love gets restored, not rebuilt on top of broken things, but genuinely deeply restored, like it was never shattered in the first place. That's what I want for you. That's what you deserve. There are things I've never said out loud because some feelings are so large they resist language. Some things you feel in your bones before your mind even has words for them. But I'll try, because you deserve the attempt. You deserve someone who tries. What I feel when I think about you isn't a simple thing. It isn't easy to categorize or contain. It's the kind of feeling that makes the world feel both enormous and very small at the same time. Enormous because suddenly everything is full of meaning and possibility. Small because in that hugeness, the only thing that actually matters is you. Just you. Not the version of you that performs for the world. Not the version of you that has it all figured out. Just you in your truest, most unedited form. Or maybe never fully believed. You are not too much. You are not too emotional. Too needy, too intense, too complicated, too broken, too anything. You are exactly the right amount of everything. Every single part of you that you've been taught to apologize for, to minimize, to hide, those parts are the ones I am most drawn to. Because the things that make you complex are the same things that make you extraordinary. And the right person will not just tolerate those things. The right person will treasure them. will thank whatever forces of the universe conspired to make you exactly this way. So, I think about the conversations we haven't had yet, the nights that haven't happened yet, the moments that are still waiting for us somewhere in the future, patient and quiet, holding all the warmth I want to bring into your life. I think about what it would feel like to sit with you in total silence and feel completely full. No need to perform, no pressure to fill the air with anything except presence. Just being near you, just knowing that you're there. I think about what it would mean to be your safe place. Not just someone who shows up when things are good, but someone who stays when things get hard. Someone you can fall apart in front of without worrying that falling apart will make them leave. Someone who holds you together, not by fixing everything, but simply by refusing to let go. Because I never dated you to lose you. I need you to understand everything I am, everything I feel, everything I've been trying to find the words to say. It all points to the same truth. I didn't come into your life to be temporary. I didn't offer you my heart as something you could borrow. What I gave you, what I keep giving you every time I show up, every time I stay, every time I choose you again, even when choosing is hard, that's not casual, that's not convenience. That is a man who looked at a woman and thought, not just today, not just when it's easy, forever. That is a man who means it. Ikinureta. And I know that forever is a word that people throw around too easily, until it stops meaning anything. I know you've been promised forever by people who didn't even make it to next month. So I won't just say it. I want to show you, day after day, choice after choice, in the small quiet moments and the big impossible ones. I want to show you what it looks like when someone actually stays. When someone actually means what they say. When love isn't something you have to chase or beg for or earn through suffering, but something that simply exists between two people who decided to keep choosing each other. You are the reason I believe that kind of love is real. You always have been, and no matter how far apart we are, no matter what silence or distance or time has settled between us, in every version of my life, in every world where I get to exist, I find my way back to you. I always find my way back to you. I always find my way back to you. And maybe that's the part that scares me the most. Not losing you though, that fear is real, and it lives in me like a quiet ache that never fully goes away. What scares me more than losing you is the thought that you might not know, that you might go through an entire day, maybe an entire season of your life, carrying something heavy and difficult and sharp. And somewhere in the middle of all of that, you might wonder if anyone sees you, really sees you. And the thought that you could be standing in the middle of your own life, feeling invisible, while I am right here, completely, utterly overwhelmed by the sight of you, that is the thing that keeps me awake at night more than anything else. So I'm saying it again, I see you, not the highlight version of you that the world gets to see. Not the strong version, the capable version, the one who has it together and makes it look effortless. I see the version of you that sits quietly after everyone else has gone home and lets out a breath you've been holding all day. I see the version of you that wonders if you're enough, not because you're insecure, but because you care so deeply about the people you love that you're always asking yourself if you're giving them enough, being enough, meaning enough to them. I see the version of you that loves so fully and so generously that sometimes you forget to save some of that love for yourself. I see her, and I love her more than I have words for. I want to talk about something that I don't think anyone has ever said to you directly. I want to talk about the way you love, because I've been paying attention, I've always been paying attention, and the way you love people is something rare. It's not the kind of love that's loud and performative, though you are capable of warmth that fills an entire room. It's the kind of love that shows up in the details, the way you remember things, the way you check in, the way you notice when something shifts in someone's energy and you reach out before they even have to ask. The way you make people feel like they matter, not through grand gestures, but through the quiet, consistent proof of your presence. That's a gift. That is one of the most extraordinary gifts a person can carry. And I wonder if anyone has ever told you that. I wonder if anyone has ever turned that same attention and care back toward you with the same gentleness you give to everyone else. Because here's what I've noticed, and I want to be careful with how I say this because I don't want it to sound like criticism. It's not. It's observation, and it comes from a place of deep tenderness. You are so much better at loving others than you are at letting others love you. You know how to give. You've spent years perfecting the art of giving. Your time, your energy, your attention, your patience, your grace. But when someone tries to give those things back to you, something happens. You get uncomfortable. You deflect. You minimize your own needs. You say things like, "I'm fine," when you're not fine. Or you don't have to do that when someone is trying to show up for you, or it's not a big deal. When it is actually a very big deal, and you know it, and they know it, and everyone knows it, except you're too used to being the one who takes care of things, to know how to sit down and let someone take care of you for once. And I want to be that person. I want to be the one you finally let in. Not because I want to fix you. You don't need fixing. Not because I think I'm some kind of answer to something broken. You're not broken. But because you have given so much of yourself to so many people for so long, and I want to be the one who gives it back. I want to be the one who makes you feel as loved as you make everyone around you feel. I want you to experience what it's like to be on the receiving end of the kind of love you give. Generous, consistent, attentive, unwavering. You deserve to feel that. You've always deserved to feel that. And I genuinely believe that part of you has been waiting for exactly this. Not waiting in a desperate way. Not waiting in a way that has made you bitter or hopeless. But there's a part of you buried under all the independence and the resilience and the beautiful walls you've built to protect yourself that has been quietly waiting for someone who would make all of it worth it. Someone who would make you glad you didn't give up. Someone who would make you understand, finally and completely, why every other thing didn't work out. Why every door that closed was preparing you for a door that would open in a way that changed everything. I want to be that door. I want to be the reason you look back at your life and say, I understand now. I understand why I had to go through all of that. Because it brought me here. Let me tell you something about the hardest days. The days when everything feels like too much and the weight of simply existing inside your own life feels unbearable. The days when you wake up tired before the day has even started. The days when you pour everything you have into the world and then come home empty and wonder if any of it matters, if you matter, if the love you put out into the universe will ever find its way back to you. I know those days. I've watched you carry them. And on every single one of those days, there was something I wanted to do more than anything. I wanted to reach through whatever distance existed between us and take some of that weight from you. Just take it. Put it on myself. Tell you, give me some of that. You don't have to carry all of it alone. You have never had to carry all of it alone. But here's what I also know. I know that you've been told things before by people who didn't mean them. I know that someone has said, I'm here, and then disappeared. I know that someone has said, you can lean on me, and then crumbled under the pressure of your honesty. I know that you've tried to let people in before, tried to be vulnerable, tried to say out loud the things you usually keep quiet, and instead of being held, you were made to feel like a burden. Like your pain was inconvenient. Like your needs were too heavy for someone else to hold. And after that kind of thing happens, you stop trying. You learn to process everything alone. You learn to show people the healed version of every wound, never the open one. You learn to be strong, not because strength is always your first choice, but because the last time you showed weakness, it cost you something you couldn't afford to lose. I need you to know that I am not afraid of your wounds. I'm not going to flinch at the sight of the places inside you that are still healing. I'm not going to make you feel ashamed of the things that hurt you, the things that broke you, the things that still have the power to bring you to your knees on certain nights when the silence is too loud and the memories come back uninvited. I want to be there for all of it, not despite those parts of you because of them. Because every scar you carry is evidence of something you survived. Every painful chapter in your story is proof that you kept going when stopping would have been so much easier. And I am in awe of that. I am in complete and total awe of your ability to keep going. Dode, I want to tell you about something I imagine. I imagine ordinary mornings with you. I know that sounds simple, maybe even small, but stay with me for a moment. I imagine the kind of morning where there's nowhere to be and no performance required. Where the light comes in slowly and everything is quiet and unhurried. Where we can just exist in the same space without needing to fill it with anything, except presence. I imagine making you coffee the way you like it before you've even asked. I imagine watching you read something that makes you smile and feeling like the whole world just tilted slightly in the right direction. I imagine the small, unremarkable moments, the ones that don't make it into anyone's highlight reel. And I want those moments more than I want anything grand or spectacular. Because that's where the real love lives. Not in the dramatic declarations and the sweeping gestures, though I'd give you those too. The real love lives in the Tuesday mornings, in the ordinary Wednesday evenings, in the quiet Sunday afternoons when the whole world is still and you are right there, and that is enough. That is more than enough. That is everything. That is everything. And I think about the future in a way I haven't allowed myself to think about it before. Not a fantasy version of the future, all polished and perfect with no difficulty or complexity. The real future. The one that has hard days in it. The one that has disagreements and misunderstandings and moments where we both say the wrong thing at the wrong time and have to find our way back to each other. The future that has seasons, not all of them warm. I think about that future and I am not afraid of it. I want it. I want the full, complicated, beautiful, imperfect version of a life with you in it. I want to know what it feels like to work through something hard with you and come out on the other side still holding your hand. I want to know what it feels like to choose each other, not just when it's effortless, but when effort is exactly what it requires. Because that's when love proves itself. Not in the easy moments, in the hard ones. There's a question I've been holding quietly for a long time, and I think I'm finally ready to ask it. Not out loud, not yet, but in this space between us that only you and I can feel. I want to ask you if you believe me. Not if you hear me, I think you hear me, but if you actually believe me. If somewhere in that heart of yours, underneath all the protection and the learned caution and the wisdom that comes from having been hurt before, you believe that what I'm telling you is true, that it's real, that I mean every single word, because I do. There is nothing performative